I'd like to begin this class by talking a little bit about a comparison between the Yoga Sutras, which is a foundational text for yoga, and the teachings of the Buddha as they're put forward in the Dhammapada, which are the earliest teachings of the Buddha. So there's a saying of the Buddha, very, very early saying that goes, "He hurt me, he insulted me, he hurt me, he defeated me, he robbed me. Those who think such thoughts are not free from hatred." He insulted me, he hurt me, he abused me, he robbed me. Those who think not such thoughts are free from hatred. Now that's a theoretical framework for navigating yoga practice. That's a theoretical framework. Right? So the Buddha is suggesting that we be free from hate. And the way to do that is to not think those particular thoughts. He hurt me, he abused me, he defeated me, he robbed me. Right? Now, the Yoga Sutras in one section makes it really practical with how to actually do that. How do we actually do that? So in the second section of the Yoga Sutras, the portion on practice, the very first sentence reads something like, accepting pain as help for purification. Accepting pain, this is number one, accepting pain as help for purification. Study of spiritual books. And the third one is humbling oneself to the Supreme Being. Constitute yoga in practice, right? Those three things. Accepting pain as help for purifying the mind, studying spiritual books, and being humble or surrendering to the Supreme Being, however you would like to conceive of that, or whatever words you want to put on the Supreme Being, right? Those three things constitute yoga in practice. And the Yoga Sutras go on to say that by practicing yoga in this way, you will be free from obstacles to freedom of mind. And one of those obstacles happens to be hatred. So this is really about how to remove hatred from the mind, and the body, because it's not separate. When we feel hatred, it's not just a mental experience, it's a whole body experience. We feel the heart gets tight, the muscles in the body might stiffen up, we might want to hurt, we might feel stiff in certain muscles, or shoulders might get tight. So it's not just a mental or emotional experience, hatred, it's a whole body experience. So we're using yoga as a means to let go of that obstacle. And what are the practices to do that? Well, the first one mentions accepting pain as help for purification. So whatever pain we're experiencing, right? The Buddha says, he insulted me, he hurt me, right? He defeated me, he robbed me. The Buddha is saying the exact same thing. He's saying, those who think such thoughts will not be free from hatred. So coming back to yoga, how do we do this? Accepting pain as help for purification of our minds. That's the key to our. That's what I want to focus on today. This is what I'd like our class to focus on. All right. So accepting pain as help for purification, purifying the mind, and whatever that pain looks like for you, it might come in the form of hatred or anger. It might come in the form of anxiety. It might come in the form of something else. Whatever form that pain comes in doesn't matter. It's just we're working on. It's a practice to accept that pain. It's a practice. It's not that we do it perfectly. my goodness, we know that we have times where it's almost impossible, it seems, to accept pain in our life. But that's our practice, right? We continue to work towards accepting pain as help for purifying the mind. This is the foundation of yoga practice. So let's start. Let's start by coming to the front of our mat, whatever you choose to have be as the front of your yoga mat. Right? And we'll do 3 sun salutations. Just to begin to warm up the body. All right, so extending the spine up, shoulders down. And check in, where is there tightness in the body? You may not even recognize hatred if it was right in your face. You might not even recognize it, right? But you might have tight muscles here and there. The body feels these emotions, and we might not recognize them with our intellect, but they nonetheless are present in our physical body through stiffness, through pain and aches. All of those things. I'm not saying your pain and achy is directly related to hatred, but there may be some connections there that are worth investigating. When we feel hatred, notice how the body feels at that time, or anxiety, or something else, some other pain. All right, let's bring the palms together in front of the heart. Ready? Bringing the hands towards the sternum, extending the arms forward and up. Back a little bit. You can draw the hips a little forward, bending the knees, and then folding in half. Right, whatever you feel in the body is okay. This is about accepting. Whatever pain that you feel there is okay. We don't want to create more pain, we want to lessen the pain. And part of that has to do with accepting it. Accepting it helps to lessen pain. Let's step the left foot back. And that's really the key to the Yoga Sutras. How do we get from suffering to the end of suffering? That's the key in the Yoga Sutras. That's what it's all about. If you want to suffer less, accept pain as help for purification. All right, let's step the right foot back, downward dog. And I would encourage you to walk your feet in place a few times. Let's just stretch out the calf muscles. Stretch out the calf muscles. All right, wonderful. Let's just draw both those heels down, lifting the tailbone up. We get a little stretch in the back there, straightening the elbows as much as possible. Breathe here. All right, stretching out the shoulders a little bit. Let's come down. Let's bring the knees down, and we'll just take some time here out of sun salutation to stretch the shoulders out. So sliding the hands up as high as you can on your mat and lowering your head down towards the mat. And just feel those shoulders stretching out. Take some deep breaths here. All right, let's come back up. Straighten the elbows. Turn the palms outwards just a little bit, and then lift the knees off the ground. And when you're ready, left foot forward, slide or step the left foot as far forward as you can. Let me know if you have any trouble hearing me, if the audio conks out for any reason, please unmute and let me know. All right. And right foot forward. And get a little stretch to the backs of the legs. Let's bring the hands to the shins or the knees and just kind of extend the spine out, making our body into the shape of an upside down L or a bookshelf. Ready? Okay, and then coming to standing, continuing to lift the arms up overhead. And maybe a little back bend. Here. So I squeeze the buttocks, hips a little forward, engage your core muscles. You don't have to lift your chin up. And in fact, if you do, keep your chin a little tucked, that helps with the blood flow to the brain, I've found in my own body. But check it out for yourself, like how high to lift your chin up. I don't lift mine up very high here, but just a little back bend. Right, just get those shoulders back behind your ears. All right, and then palms come down and in front of the heart. Number one, done. Take a moment to rest. Bring your hands to your sides. Take a few breaths here. Feel what you're feeling in your body. All right, let's draw the palms together again in front of the heart. Reach them forward and up. And fold in half. Fold the body. Take your time here. Hinging from the hips. Feeling that stretch in the back of the legs. All right, slowly releasing the shoulders, the neck. Taking a couple of breaths here. All right, right foot stepping back. Right foot stepping back. And now what I want to do is do a little stretch to the hamstring of the left leg. So let's lower the right knee down. And see what I'm doing here? I'm just starting to lean back a little bit. In the process of leaning back, I'm straightening my left knee a bit and then lifting the toes off of the ground. So it gets a nice stretch to the hamstring without trying to overstretch the low back here. This is really, really wonderful stretch to try out. Right? Oftentimes we make the mistake of overstretching our low back, and that creates weakness in the low back. So, but stretching the hamstring, you can stretch the hamstring as much as you want, and it has great benefit. That's at least what I've found in my own body. And so stretching the hamstring in this way, you can notice my back is not stretching at all. I'm not trying to arch my back here, just kind of keeping it upright, right? Okay, let's go ahead and lower your foot down. You can come forward a little bit with your torso, and then we'll transition to downward dog. Ready? Downward dog. All right, just kind of working the heels down. You can experiment by sliding your feet forward closer to your hands. That might help get those heels down a little bit further, or maybe they'll touch the ground even. But check it out for yourself. Just working towards that, heels coming towards the ground. All right, let's lower the knees. Engage the pectorals here. I'm going to squeeze it's as though we're trying to squeeze something together with our hands, and bending the elbows as we come down, all the way down to the mat. And then lifting up the head, neck, and shoulders, elbows tucked in a little bit. Right, lifting the head up, you can lift the hands off the ground. And this is a strengthener for the back. This is really good for the back. Really, really good for the back. All right, so we're strengthening the low back, strengthening the middle back, strengthening the upper back. Chin can be tucked here. All right, let's push into the hands. Bring them down, push into them, returning to downward dog, turning the palms outwards just a little bit, the fingertips pointing outwards just a little bit, tucking the chin, lifting the tailbone. Right, let's step the right foot forward now. Right foot coming forward, a little lunge. Lower the left knee. All right, let the hips open just a little bit more, and then we're going to focus on that hamstring and the right leg by leaning back. So just kind of leaning back. You might feel a little pull there in the hamstring. That might be enough. Or if you want to take it a little further, you can lift the toes off the ground, maybe even straightening your knee, maybe straightening your right knee. But be sure to keep the back long. Right, the head is lifted away from the knee here. We're not trying to touch our toes. We're not trying to bring our head to our knee. We're just leaning back, straightening, drawing the knee a little bit straighter. So there's a nice little pull in the back of the leg. All right, let's go ahead and come forward again. Little lunge. Maybe lifting the back knee. All right, and stepping the left foot forward. Left foot comes forward. Again, another stretch to the hamstring here. And hold on to the leg somewhere and lift the head halfway. And then back down as low as you can go without stretching the back. Keep the hinge coming from the hips, not the low back. Ready? Let's lift the head, arms come forward and up. Little back bend here, and hands in front of the heart. All right, that was number 2, done. All right, number 3, ready? Forward and up, go the arms, little back bend, and a forward fold. Left foot stepping back, so we'll go a little faster here. Left foot stepping back, and rock a little bit forward and backward if you like. Right foot back. All right, downward dog. Go ahead and lower the knees, we'll bend the elbows, slide on through to the front side of the body. Elbows tucked in with the head, neck, shoulders, and the hands. All right, you can tuck the chin here if you want. You can even lift the feet off the ground if you'd like. Ready? Push into the hands, up, back, downward dog, left foot forward. And right foot forward. All right, halfway lift, back down, and sweep the arms out and up. Palms in front of the heart. Okay, good. All right, that completes our warm-up phase. Just come and bringing the body up, palms turning out a little bit. Just pause here for a sec, see how your body's feeling, whatever's there. Right? If there's pain, accepting pain is it's just an encouragement. The Yoga Sutras are just an encouragement. I'm not saying that we should like pain. I'm just saying that as a practice, accepting pain as help for purification constitutes yoga in practice. Right? I'm not saying we should like it, but how do we accept it? Right? Well, we accept it by noticing it and not trying to push it away. Right? Whatever might be there, whatever form it might take. Right? And it will take a form. It will take a form. None of us are free from pain, as long as we're alive. So it's going to be a practice that we can hold on to for the rest of our life. All right? Here we go, ready? Let's do tree pose, balancing pose. One way to do this is you could put your foot halfway off and halfway on the mat. And that gives you a little bit more unsteadiness. We want a little bit of unsteadiness. That helps with getting greater balance. Helps strengthening those feet and the muscles around the feet, the ankle. And then our other foot, you can bring it to your ankle, to your calf, or to your thigh. Feel free to hold on to something. If you want to hold on to the wall behind you, or to the side of you, or a chair, you can do that for support until you're ready to let go. Right? There's no hurry in letting go. If you need to do the whole pose holding on to something, that's totally fine. All right? I've just put my palms together in front of my heart, and then the branches sprout up from the tree. All right, this is tree pose. One suggestion is to cast the eyes downward rather than forward. And that helps to ground us. Literally, we're looking at the ground. Looking at the ground can be grounding. When the eyes and the ground meet, we might feel more stable, more settled. It's a grounding practice. Looking at the ground. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's lower the arms down. You can use them for balance, release the foot if you haven't already. Come on to both feet, and let's take a moment to notice the stability there now that we're on both feet. All right. Notice how stable you are coming to both feet. We're intentionally creating instability by balancing on one leg. We're intentionally creating instability by balancing on one leg. And then we really notice the contrast when we put both feet on the ground, which is, so often we don't notice how stable we are with both legs on the ground. All right, let's shift over to the other foot. Right, shift your weight into your other foot. For me, it's my left leg. Right foot comes up to the ankle, calf, or thigh. Any one of those 3 places is fine. And again, feel free to hold on to something if you need to. You can hold on to something for the entire length of this pose. Right? Palms together and then reaching them out. Remember to breathe. Another point here in this balancing pose is to bring your awareness into the center of your body, into your core. Right? A lot of times if we're top heavy, we've got all of our attention up in our brain or in our head. Bring it down into your core, in the center, near your belly button. Right. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's lower the arms first. Relax the shoulders and the arms. Release the foot. Again, notice that stability that comes with having both feet on the ground now. Look, you're stable. Notice that. Notice the feeling of stability with both legs on the ground. That's always there, and yet we forget it. And so until we're missing a leg. Right, here's the stability right here. All right, good, good. Let's do two strengthening poses. We'll do warrior 2, followed by chair pose. All right, so create some space between your feet. Bend one knee, straighten the other one. Whichever foot's straight will have that foot kind of on an angle, maybe about a 45-degree angle to your other foot, your front foot. Okay, we'll reach the arms out over the legs, head looking forward. And breathe. Look back, make sure your back arm is about the same height as your front arm. It also gives your neck a little stretch here. And turn your head several times to stretch out the muscles there. Get a sense of the range of motion available to you. Flip your palms. You might notice an internal shift in flipping the palms up. Try it out, see how it feels. All right, let's lower the arms, straighten the leg, and we'll turn the feet to the opposite side, do the other side. Ready? Bend that, make your back leg is now your front leg. Right? So bend that knee, whichever knee is bent, that's the front. Arms reaching out over the legs. Shoulders, watch the shoulders. They tend to, when we reach our arms out like this, our shoulders tend to lift up towards our ears. Let's intentionally drop them down. And again, you can turn your head left and right. Pull in here. Maybe flipping the palms up. 3, 2, 1, and let's come to rest. Notice how you're feeling. Notice if there's any internal shifts. Check the placement of your chin. I want to just a slight tuck, just the slightest tuck. This is a pose. This is a yoga pose, right? This Tadasana, mountain pose. So bring your mind into your body. Feel the body. Arms and legs. All right, let's try chair pose. Chair is the other one. That's the real strengthening pose for us. And it's going to be a real challenging one for all of us, depending on how much we bend our knees. So let's focus on bending the knees. Keep the knees right over the heels if possible, kind of sticking out the tailbone. Arms come forward like the armrests of the chair. The knees bend to create the seat of the chair. You notice my back is a little bit forward. I could work towards straightening it up, getting my back perpendicular to the floor, or not, right? Either way is fine. But you can feel a difference in your thighs depending on where your back is located in space in relationship to the angle of the floor. Of course, how much you bend your knees will also affect what you feel in your thighs here. So this is a real good strengthener for the knees, for the thigh muscle, the muscles around the knees. So if you have problems with your knees, this is a good one to strengthen up those muscles around the knees. I know I sometimes suffer from knee aches, and strengthening those muscles around the knees have proved critical to healthy knee joints for me. All right, let's do 3, 2, 1, and stand. See how you're feeling. See what you notice here. For me, heart rate goes up, air aspiration's going up, without even moving the body. Just take some nice long deep breaths. And relaxing all the different muscle groups. All right, let's go ahead and lay down on our back side. Shavasana. Now notice the changes in your muscles, the changes in your body, in your muscle groups. As you lay down, you might feel feelings of euphoria here. Try not to get too attached to those feelings, but also accept them as present, as there. Enjoy them while they last. Any feelings of euphoria you might notice in your body, in your legs or arms, as you lay down here, consider accepting them, knowing that they're not going to last, and that's okay, and to enjoy them while they last. When we accept this kind of feelings of euphoria, it allows the muscles to stretch. All right, let's let go of that for a moment. We're going to roll over onto our front side. Rolling over onto our front side. You can turn your head to one side if you want, hands at your side. Or you can rest your head on your hands as I'm doing. This is Advasana, the abdominal resting pose, so it's another opportunity to rest the body. Maybe notice any feelings of wellness, of euphoria that you might be experiencing in the muscles of your body. Not to attach to them, but also not to push them away. All right, let's bring the forehead to the mat with the hands underneath the shoulders, elbows tucked into the sides. Elbows tucked into the sides, hands underneath the shoulders, that's key. Forehead to the mat and the toes pointed, feet together. The sides of the feet touching. Ready? Let's lift the head up, engaging the upper back. Lifting the head up, you might engage the low back as well here. This is a good strengthening pose. All right, we're not using the arms here. We're just kind of resting the arms. The elbows are tucked in to the sides. And lift the head. We're not even lifting the chin, but just lifting the head. And in that process, we engage those muscles, contracting the muscles in our back. Remember to breathe evenly here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's lower the chin now to the mat. Bring the hands to the sides. You can bring the arms underneath the abdomen if you want to, or not. You can leave them at your side if you prefer. We're going to do locust pose. So starting with one leg, lift the right leg up and hold. If it's uncomfortable to have those arms underneath the abdomen, you may want to explore bringing them to your side. If it's not uncomfortable, or even if it is, remember, accepting pain is helpful with purification. Actually, the elbows press into the liver, releasing toxins in the liver. That's the purpose of bringing the elbows together underneath the abdomen. Okay, let's lower the right leg, lift the left leg up. So in a way, we are purifying our body in the process of doing this pose. If we've got our elbows kind of pressed into our abdomen just below our rib cage. And it's helping to release any toxins that are present in the liver at the moment. All right, and then lowering the left leg down. Take a moment to rest. You might decide to get your arms out from under you or keep them under you, either way, right? All right, let's do a second round of this. Right leg lifting up and hold. Relax the left leg as much as possible. Holding, 3, 2, 1, and release. Left leg lifts, hold. Relax the right leg as much as possible. 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, again, another opportunity to assess whether you want to keep your arms underneath your abdomen. You can put them at your side or whatnot. We're just going to rest for a few seconds before we do locust pose once again, this time with both legs lifting up. Take a moment to rest. Notice any feelings of well-being here, euphoria that come across the body. All right, let's do it. Again, you got this option, you got this choice to bring the arms underneath the body if you want to, or not. Try to get the elbows as close to each other as possible. If you do this, my palms are facing up. You could also do this with palms facing down, so you might want to explore this on your own, what works better for you. But let's lift both legs up together. Ready? Lifting both legs up and hold. And 3, 2, 1, and slowly lower down with control. All right, let's release the arms now. Go ahead and rest. Turn your head to one side if you want. Arms are not underneath the abdomen now, we just rest. All right, one more back strengthening pose. Bow pose. This is a fun one. All right. Let's bring the forehead down to the mat. Bend the knees. Right? You get a stretch out of your thighs just by bending your knees back like this. You can grab hold of your feet or your ankles and just push your feet down towards your butt. A little stretch of the thighs. And then when you're ready, straighten out the arms. Hold on to the legs, the ankles or the feet, wherever you can grab your feet or your legs. You can even hold on to your pant legs here. And now we're going to push our feet into our hands so that the knees come up off the ground, the thighs rise up off the ground. That's what we're focusing on, getting those thighs up off the ground. Notice the strength required in the back to do this, kind of landing on the abdomen. Landing on the abdomen. You might feel a pulsing in your abdomen. That's flushing out the artery that goes to the stomach, purifying the blood there. Right? Just pushing it out, aiding digestion. I don't know if purification of the blood is the right term, but this is aiding in digestion, getting that blood flowing in the digestive system, which is a good thing for digestion. Getting all those nutrients stored up in the gut, getting them moving into the body. Okay, let's lower the knees, release the legs, stretch the right arm up over the head, use your left arm to turn you over onto your side, onto your back, and recenter on your mat. And rest. Okay, notice any sense of ease in your body, any sense of well-being. Just absorb that sense. All right, now we're going to transition to stretching the backside of the body now. We just completed strengthening the backside. Now we're going to stretch the backside of the body. So let's start by reaching the arms over the head, stretching out the shoulders a little bit. Breathe here. Take a deep breath in and hold it. Use your core muscles now to lift your head, peel up your back. Use your arms to assist you here. If you need to hold on to the ground with your hands, go ahead. Reaching up, reach up towards the ceiling, making the body into the shape of the letter L. All right, reaching up, and then letting the arms down. Keep the back upright. That's key. Get that back strong to keep it upright. Let's take the left knee, raise it, and bring it down. Bend the knee. With the knee bent, lower the left knee out to the side. Arms coming up overhead. Fold forward over that right leg. Again, this is a nice stretch to the hamstring. Be careful not to stretch the back. We're not trying to stretch the back here. We're trying to stretch the leg, and the back of the leg in particular. And really rely on the softening of the muscles in your neck, in your shoulders, in your arms, softening the muscles in your neck, shoulders, arms. That's key here. And just focusing on just letting the weight of your upper body come down, not press on that hamstring so that it's stretching it. This is really key to freeing up the low back pain. You take some nice, smooth, deep breaths here. And this is more of a resting pose. The other poses we did for our back are more active poses, but the forward folds are more resting poses. And okay, let's come up to a seat. These forward folds help to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, whereas the back bends help to stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. So we're We're balancing these two nervous systems out. Let's try the other side now, stretching the left leg forward, raising the right knee now, and then lowering it with the knee bent out to the side. Ready? Lifting the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, folding over the left leg. Again, focusing on relaxing the neck muscles, the shoulder muscles, the arm muscles. If you can hold on to your toes, that's fine, or you can put a strap around some kind of a strap, or even a sock, and put around the ball of your foot, and hold on to that, like so. Like if you can pretend I got a strap in my hand, and that can help here too. So you don't have to touch your toes here, but really focus on relaxing the upper body, whatever you do. Letting that head come down to the knee. That's it doesn't have to touch the knee, but just it's going. It's again, it's a practice. We draw it towards the knee. If you're not used to the hamstring being stretched, there may be considerable discomfort here. There may be a low tolerance for the discomfort you feel in the back of your leg, and I assure you that if you stick with this practice, that your tolerance for the discomfort you feel in the back of your leg will certainly increase. And this goes back to that teaching of tapas, accepting pain as help for purification. Right? This is a kind of pain that we really do want to accept. Assuming that anatomically you're doing the pose appropriately for your body, and we can always talk about that one-on-one if you want to. All right, let's come back out of that pose, just lifting the head up, getting the back straight, and maybe bending both knees, sitting cross-legged for a moment. Just see how your body's feeling here, just lengthening up. I always think it's so important to focus on getting the back upright. Again, there's another place where it might be painful if your back muscles are not used to being strengthened in this. What we're doing is just by sitting upright, we're strengthening our back muscles, and there will be the muscles will become sore if you're not used to doing this. They'll become tired quickly if you're not used to doing this. So don't give up on yourself. Right? Keep working on strengthening the back. I recommend people sit less in chairs and sit more on the floor. Don't matter how old you are. If you can get down to the floor and sit down there, don't use the back of a chair. Even if you're sitting in a chair, don't use the back of the chair. Use your own back. That's what the muscles are there for. So many back problems in our culture because of chairs, the overuse of them. All right, let's stretch the legs forward. All right. You can see if you can get those knees down as much as possible, but you could bend them. Don't worry about getting them all the way down. Right? Strengthening, lengthening the back. Reaching up. And getting the arms up overhead. Take a breath in. And exhale, fold over the legs. Hinging from the hips. Here too, we want to relax the neck, the shoulders, the arms. Again, you could use straps around the bottoms of your feet to assist you here. There's nothing wrong with using straps. There's nothing wrong with not being able to touch your toes. But the more that you stretch those hamstrings, the easier it is going to be for you to hold on to your toes here, or hold on to your feet. Bottom line, just keep practicing. We want to practice in a way that is anatomically correct for our own bodies, though. Right? Keep practicing, but do so knowing that you're doing it correctly. There are good ways, and there are better ways, and there are worse ways to practice. And so knowing and being able to differentiate the differences there is important. Again, feel free to reach out and do work one-on-one if you want to on these things.
And slowly, little by little, the muscles will stretch without any force. We'll work on disengaging the muscles, softening the muscles, especially in the upper body. Work on accepting any pain or discomfort that you feel in the backs of the legs. All right, let's sit back up, release out of that pose. Take your time. Take some breaths. All right, let's raise the right knee now. Right knee raised, step over the left leg. You have your right foot anywhere between your ankle and your hip. All right. Wrap the left arm around the knee. Circle the right arm behind your back to begin the twist. Turning the back slowly, looking over the right shoulder. When you're ready, you can look over the left shoulder. Get a sense of the range of motion in your neck. Remember to breathe. Left arm can come out to the outside of the right leg as you turn, maybe increase that twist. Keep working on lengthening the back up as you turn. And back to center, ready? And back to center, we'll reverse the legs around, left knee raises, step it over. It could be down here, it could be up here. Take the right arm, wrap it around the knee, left arm, circle it back. Turn. And we can work on drawing the navel in. Drawing the navel in. And the other thing is to bring that right elbow to the outside of the left leg. That's an option here. If you want to try it, go ahead and do it now. Otherwise, leave it alone for now. And back to center. Let's take a moment just to sit, cross our legs, sitting upright. See how your body's feeling. Noticing any changes here. All right, let's do an inversion. Let's do shoulder stand. So go ahead and come onto your backside. And if you're not sure about shoulder stand today, if you've had any recent head, neck, or shoulder injuries, maybe refraining from doing shoulder stand would be appropriate. In that case, I recommend either putting your feet up on the wall, like so. Just put your legs up on the wall like so. That's an option. If you've had any recent head, neck, or shoulder injuries, also any kind of eye injuries, you might want to just put your legs up on the wall. And that really is a nice relaxing pose for draining the blood from the feet. Relaxes the heart in that way. You want to try shoulder stand, and then we'll lift the feet up towards the ceiling, crunch the
core. Press into the hands to bring the legs over the head. Okay. Feel free to watch this if you're not sure how to do it. Then the hands come to the low back, and the legs come up towards the ceiling. See how that feels? If it's now, here's where we want to be careful. We don't want to just accept pain as help for purification here, especially if it's in our neck or our shoulders. So be very careful here to be able to distinguish between pain that we want to accept and pain that we don't want to accept. We don't want to create more pain for ourselves. That's an important point in yoga practice. We never want to create more pain for ourselves, but we do want to accept the pain that is there already. Even prior to the start of the class, work on accepting that pain. Now, if there's pain that's created by yoga, that's not the kind of pain we want to accept. That's the kind of pain we want to avoid. So discerning between those two kinds of pain is extremely important. So see how you feel here. We want to have relative comfort in the neck and shoulders. It might not be comfortable in the usual sense of the word, but there shouldn't be pain in the joints or in the joints around the spine or shoulders or anything like that. But there might be some relative discomfort being in this particular pose. You might feel pressure in the head, around the eyes. That's why you want to be careful here. But if it feels appropriate to continue doing it, do so. Know that there's lots to be gained, lots of benefits to shoulder stand, including reducing varicose veins, resting the heart muscle, and stimulating the thyroid gland to function properly. The thyroid gland lives right at the base of the throat, so putting your attention there at the base of the throat is what helps to stimulate the thyroid gland. We've got to actually feel that gland. You don't have to feel the gland, but just feel the base of the throat. Put your attention there at the base of the throat. Bring it into the throat at the base. Feel that area. Okay, we'll just remain here for another 30 seconds. And if you need to come out of the pose sooner than me for any reason, feel free to. Just reverse the steps and be careful coming down, not in a hurry. Another option here is to circle your feet around your ankles while you're up in the air like this. Nice little stretch those muscles around the ankles. All right, let's begin the descent. Slowly lower the feet over the head. Use those muscles there in your back. Lower the hands. Use the muscles in your arms and in your shoulders to slowly lower down the back. Right, relax the neck here. Relax the neck muscles, but engage the back muscles, the core muscles. The arms push the hands down into the ground as your back lowers. All right, just rest there once your back's on the ground, just keep your legs lifted here for a second. We can make some circles with our legs, just engage the core muscles a little bit. Press your low back into the mat as you circle your feet around. You can turn your toes out, do a little kind of Pilates type exercise, right? Turning your feet outwards, just making some circles counterclockwise or clockwise with your legs. Right, just to get some core work here. Another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's lower the legs. You can do one at a time or both together. Another opportunity to engage the core. Once the legs are down, notice the wave of relaxation that comes over the body. Notice any feelings of euphoria that you might experience at this time. All right, let's grab hold of the thighs. The fingers underneath the thighs, the thumbs up, wrapped around the sides of the thighs. Bring the feet together. Dig the elbows into the ground. Lift the head up about halfway, about quarter of the way, so like a half-seated posture. So not coming up all the way, about at a 45-degree angle with the torso. I'm going to lift the chin up, press the ribs forward, right? And lower the crown to the ground. Breathe deeply into your ribs. Keep in mind that you can use a cushion under your back for support. Breathe deeply into the lungs. Then go ahead and lift the head up, lower down, and let's take a few moments here to rest. Noticing any sense of ease in the body, any feelings of euphoria. This is our deep relaxation part of the class. It's going to be a short one today. Let's really see if you can relax all the muscles throughout the body. Begin to notice the breath. See the breath come and go. And notice any thoughts. Be the witness to your thoughts. Right? We are not the body, we are not the mind. Just simply notice, witness them. And lastly, tapping into any feelings of wellness, well-being that you feel right now. Any sense of euphoria, ease, peace. Tap into that just for the next 30 seconds. Alright, now always know that you can do that deep relaxation much longer if you prefer. I encourage you to do so if you have the time. Otherwise, let's begin to roll our legs and arms, come back to a seated posture. We'll close out our class here.
taking a moment to sit in silence, coming back to the teachings of the Buddha right at the start of the class. He mentions, he insulted me, he hurt me, he defeated me, he robbed me. Those who think not such thoughts will be free from hatred. And the Yoga Sutras say, call hatred an obstacle to the freedom of our mind. Hatred is an obstacle to the freedom of mind. Right? How do we do that? How do we practice letting go of hate? We do it by accepting pain as a help for purification, by reading spiritual books. I don't care what, something spiritual, and submitting ourselves to the great being, however you conceptualize that for yourself, right? May all beings be safe, may all beings be well, may all beings be happy. Thank you so much for your practice today. Keep it up, keep going.